What's up? I'm Daniel, the Pitch Professor, and I have a new video I'd like to dissect. And yeah, this one caught my attention for two reasons. Number one, it's about van conversions, and I like anything car related, so I got interested. And number two, this is a Dragon's Den video, and the normal Dragon's Den videos, it's a newly released one, difficult word, have around 50, 60, 70, sometimes 100,000 views. This one has currently 615,000 views. So this seems to spark a lot of interest. And if it's interesting, I bet the pitch is as well. So without any further ado, let's have a look inside. By the way, if you feel like liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting the bell button, that would be amazing. Or if you see a pitch where you say, hey, Daniel, you need to take a look at this one because that's a special pitch, drop it in the comments. I'd love to see that. That would be fun. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up. Let's roll the tape. Tape. I'm old. Video. You know what I mean.
Next into the den is Jason Gledhill from Hampshire.
So I've been in the leisure industry since I was 20, and in 2015 I started my own company. I've enjoyed it, and it's building up something for myself and my family.
Just want to jump in the leisure industry. I think that's a broad term, but anyhow. But I wanted to point out two other things. I like the way he's saying he's been trying to build up something for his family. So that tells me already he's not in it for the quick buck, for the quick win. He's in it for the long run. And it also means for me, he's also willing to go on when it gets hard, when it gets unpleasant. And something else, a small detail, before you go on stage, always hydrate. With that I mean, take a bit of water, drink a bit of it, and ideally let it rotate through your mouth, a bit forward, backward, because you want to have a moist mouth when you talk, because you will be nervous, and if you're nervous, your mouth dries up, and your mouth dries up, you get like that. That's not what you want to do. What you can also do, but do this at your own risk, chewing gum. I do that very often when I go on stage, and I'm nervous. I'm always nervous when I go on stage, but I usually get a fresh, very minty chewing gum because that gets my, stuff going in my mouth. And usually I don't chew. It just helps me keep my mouth nice and moist. By the way, I've also noticed Dave Grohl do that. And if Dave Grohl does it, it has to be amazing.
I think they're going to be proud. Sorry.
Emotion.
Jason can be forgiven for feeling a little emotional, especially given what lies ahead.
I'm excited to go into the den and nervous at the same time.
And one more thing, if you are emotional during your presentation, this is not you being weak, soft, or lacking control. It means it matters to you. And again, this is something you're trying to show the other side. You're trying to show them what you do matters, is near and dear to your heart. And it also says to investors, you are going to work your ass off to make their hard-earned money more if they intend investing you. So I think being emotional is a good thing if it's honest and if it's fitting. If you are just some drama king or whatever you want to call it, no.
Getting more nervous as we get closer.
Good. One thing I always say in every one of my trainings, go on stage, find your mark, inhale, exhale, go. Jason did just that, and I love it. And now he's going to fight his little heart out. I hope. I haven't seen it yet, but I hope so.
Hello, Dragons. My name is Jason Gledhill, and I'm owner, founder, and director of Redcott Leisure Limited. I'm looking for a £100,000 investment for 10% of my company. Redcott Leisure manufactures and retails micro-campers, micro-camper conversions, and awnings and accessories for micro-campers. This is our Vario layout, and it's in the sleeping setup at the moment. So what is a micro camper? It's a van-derived car, such as a Citroen Berlingo or a Peugeot Partner, and our conversions retain the 5 travelling seats, so it can be used every day as your everyday vehicle or as a camper van or day van. My plan is to open more branches across the UK and then eventually open more in Europe. Thank you for your time. If you'd like to come and have a look at the micro camper, please do. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Someone seems excited. But before I go on there, 2 things. I've noticed in myself and with a lot of people I train that when you walk out, you have that tension, that anxiety rising up on you. And then you have that, that path, that funnel where you go like, okay, this is the things I have to say, this is the mark I have to hit. And people are very anxious. But as soon as they start doing something outside of that purely text-based element, they start relaxing. With that, I mean Jason just now showing off the way the car works. And if you take a close look at it, I just noticed it, the way he delivers his lines is different. Why? Because parts of his brain are not concentrating on purely the text anymore, but actually on doing something. So think about it. What is it during your presentation, your pitch, or whatever it is you can do in case you feel nervous or anxious, what you can wrap your head around? With that I mean is there something manual you can do to focus a part of your brain on while you're noticing that anxiety or nervousness is going through the roof? I can give you one advice. I'm a big fan of things like Mentimeter or Slido. And here's a very personal pro tip. I like using it a lot because I always offer my audience. So if you don't know me, besides being an entrepreneur, I am a professional speaker and TV presenter, moderator. I've done it all. The big stages, the small stages, online, offline, whatever it is. And I have massive stage anxiety. So I was not born that way. It's hard work getting there. Anyhow, what I always do in my keynotes is I don't just want to stand there and deliver a keynote and just say, well, that's it, pay me a lot of money and shut up and go away. I want to start a dialogue. So I offer all of my clients, and most of them take this, that throughout my presentation, I have this tool, such as Slido or Mentimeter, where my audience can ask me anonymous questions. What I've also noticed, though, is sometimes when I start off my keynotes and I'm nervous, that I use this tool quite simply to engage with my audience in a moment where I'm a little, anxious, tingly, and it puts my mind on something else. That always works like a charm. And sometimes I have like backup questions in there that I just have at the back of my head where I know, look, if it's getting too much and I need a quick breather to focus on my breathing, I'm going to shoot that question in and say, look, from a scale from 1 to 5, how much do you like whatever? Relevant question, obviously. So people start doing that and I get my breather and boom, I'm good again. So this is something that can work like a charm and or presenting. So just think about it. Think about it and look at it. And if it's a non-issue for you, ignore what I just said. But if it is an issue for you, just kind of look inside of yourself and think, is this something that could help you deliver your content better? Back to Jason.
Micro campers, as well as micro camper conversion kits and accessories, are the offering from Jason Gledhill.
One more thing. Look at him. He's pulling his pants up. He's in it for the business. Good stop. Anyhow, Peter Jones. I was during a training last week. I was asked by someone regarding Dragon's Den and Shark's Tank, and for the fun of it, I actually hosted the Austrian version of it many moons ago. And obviously, these pitches are highly edited. So it's not just the pitch and done. Usually, these sessions are 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and obviously, the TV companies have to get the most interesting parts for your viewing pleasure. Now, I don't know how Dragon's Den does it, but I know how other series do it. They edit it, not to paint an incorrect picture, but just, again, to be entertaining. And, as food for thought, they usually only select products that have an appeal to a broader audience. Because, obviously, if you're somewhat into investing, you know, well, probably these kind of businesses aren't as interesting as, let's see, a B2B SaaS, which has an incredible monthly recurring revenue, yada, yada, yada. But it's not interesting for a broad audience. So this product, that's awesome from a TV perspective. And it's awesome to take a look at things, touch them, feel them, and have context to it.
Want to see Peter in that micro camper?
Yeah. Oh, go for it, Peter. Party for one.
Jason is seeking £100,000 in return for a 10% share in his business.
I just want to see if it's long enough.
Can we shut the boot on him? Bye, Mr. Jones. Night.
See you in the morning.
Night.
Legroom doesn't appear to be an issue,
Yeah, because
even
he's a
for the
big boy.
den's tallest dragon. But now Peter Jones wants to size up Jason's business.
Fun fact, Stephen didn't get up and have a look at it. And for that, I'm already taking it. He can't invest. Look, if he doesn't even get up to take a look at it, he's probably not interested. I don't know. Peter Jones seemed quite interested as well as the other dragons. And I'd like to point out Peter Jones' amazing socks. And I'm quite curious to see what kind of a watch he has today. He always has amazing watches.
So, Jason, I have to say, it was very comfortable. So, what vehicles does this fit? Any vehicle?
Van drive cars, so anything that's based on a van. So they all have sliding doors on them, and they all have good head height, but you can park it anywhere. You can park it in a multi-storey car park.
And how many have you sold so far?
What the vehicle?
More detail. Most people that prepare for pitches prepare to answer a ton of product-related questions. But if you look at all of these pitches, and most pitches I've seen on stage, which are thousands over the last decade, is there's very few product-related questions, because even this one was, in fact, more related to market size. Because he's saying, look, what kind of vans? And if he says it's just silver vans from the make of 1993 to 94 and there's 500 in the world, that's boring. But he says, no, it's a larger area. And the next question is already numbers. Because again, when you're pitching, it's not about the product. It's not about your big vision, your hopes and dreams. But it's, again, investors trying to understand how big is the invest, how big is the risk, and how big is the market size. That's it. They're trying to understand, is there a big market? Is it risky to go in it? And how much do I have to pay to find out? And how much will my money increase in what period of time? And that's the data you have to give people.
Vehicles or the
two
conversions.
So what's the difference?
So for instance, this vehicle, you can buy the complete vehicle as it is with a new MOT, and it's 10,995, and it's all done.
£11,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's mad.
Good mad, bad mad.
Really good mad.
Especially when, you know, a motorhome with the same age as this will probably cost you 35,000.
So,
just to say, by that he's creating a new segment in the market, because motorhomes are expensive. And ever since COVID, people have liked the idea of, you know, bugging out or going somewhere in the countryside or just being, you know, slightly off the grid, or whatever you want to call it. But camper vans are expensive and they are big, and you need to feel comfortable with it. These kind of small vans are great, and whatever it is, 10,000, 11,000 pounds, suddenly makes it available to people who'd never considered this before. And I mean, obviously a camper van will probably never be your primary and or only car. Whereas this, you know, maybe it's good. And seeing Peter Jones' reaction to it, he's mightily impressed. And I always say it, but never pitch alone. Observe your audience reactions, because just the minute reactions on people's faces are pure giveaways. You see it as the audience now watching this on your screen, but you don't see it when you're standing on stage, light shining in your eyes and anxiety going through your nose. So never pitch alone.
how much does it cost to this package now?
A full conversion, which includes electricity, fridge, blackout blinds, cooker, and a kettle, is £2,000 for the majority of vehicles.
You charge £2,000 to do all of that?
Yeah. When someone buys a conversion, they order it online, and they can either have it sent directly to them, or they can go to one of our branches and we'll install it for them.
Okay. And what's been the turnover the last 12 months?
858,000.
gross margin?
Gross margin 374, and the net margin 224.
Well, you've done really well.
Thank you.
You see small smiles?
Comparative affordability plus healthy profits equals praise from Peter Jones. She's better known for crafting than camping, so will Sarah Davies be sold on Jason's plans to open up the great outdoors?
I absolutely love this sort of stuff. My dad built me a camper van last summer. I mean, the kids love it.
Yeah.
We absolutely love it. And obviously you've massively benefited from the huge buzz in this market since lockdown.
Yeah.
Small thing. Research the people you are pitching to and look if what you are pitching appeals to them in some sort of way on an emotional level. Because selling something on a rational level, I mean, Jason's got amazing numbers, but still, selling something on a rational level is something else than selling it on an emotional level. And you could say with Sarah Davies that there was something inside of her wanting this, liking this. And I'm pretty sure that our brains respond differently, well, not just me, but research, to something you want on an emotional level. You will find a way to make this work. Whereas if it's pure numbers, you're like, yeah, numbers work. I mean, numbers don't work. I don't care. And think of yourself, how you respond to things you want out of pure emotional reason, and the length you go to make it work compared to simple numbers game. As soon as you unlock that angle that unlocks people's emotions, you're on the right path of pitching. Pitch to the emotion, leave out the rational part. And a lot of my clients say, but we want to be rational. I understand. Look, I have a lot of customers from Germany, Austria, Switzerland. We're taught to be I'm half German and I'm based in Austria. We're taught to be super rational. But if you pitch it on an emotional level, you're going other places. And there's a great interview between Lex Friedman and Elon Musk, and they're talking about brains and how brains work. And I'm not the biggest Elon Musk fan, but what he says in one point in time is saying, look, essentially we have monkey brains, and on top of them are computers, neocortex. And he says that most humans believe that the neocortex steers the monkey brain. But in reality, he believes it's the other way around. The monkey brain steers the neocortex. I think he's right. With that, I mean is, think about how often you see something like, oh, I want that. And then your brain goes, yeah, but it's kind of expensive. And you go like, yeah, but I still want it. And then you start trying to add up the numbers and going, yeah, it might work. And then you've got that impulse again, but I want it. It's amazing. And then the numbers. So it's usually the impulse and then the brain kicking in, the rational brain, not the other way round.
But the great thing is, I don't think that shows any sign of slowing down.
Normally, you need a lot of money to buy a motorhome, and this opens the door to people to get a motorhome, for relatively cheap money, and it's their everyday car, so it's just one vehicle that's doing a bit of everything.
I think it's absolutely
smart.
So you're wanting to scale up, and what's the plan for spend with the 100 grand?
A couple of things. We've done very little advertising, and also purchasing more expensive vehicles and increasing the stock level we have.
What is your stock holding at the moment?
Probably about 350,000.
And cash in the bank?
75.
So you don't really need the 100 grand from us?
No, I've done all this on my own. I've not had a mentor, and that's what I need, I think, to take it to the next level.
One-man band Jason feels a dragon's backing could make.
I mean, someone says, I have a solid business, but I'm looking for a mentor. That means you have someone who is willing and able to listen and who says, look, I know a part, but I don't know it all. And if you're pitching to investors, that's something that makes a lot of sense. That's what you want. You don't want someone who knows it all and just wants your money. Then go to the bank, sunshine. But someone who says, look, I would really value input on that level, because at the end of the day, investors are all entrepreneurs who have that entrepreneurial bug, who love making business, but not one, but ideally 5, 10, 15, 20 to multiply their input by exactly that. Their brains and their money, not just their money. Then you could go to VCs. I mean, VCs also do that, but you know what I mean.
His business really sing. But a marketing-minded Deborah Meaden has a pressing question.
Jason, what's the brand?
Redcott Leisure.
Yeah.
I was wondering the same
You
thing.
know what I'm going to say next?
Yeah.
That's the name of your company?
Yeah.
What's your brand? Good question, isn't it?
It is a good question, yes.
Because I can see, you know, this is the type of community that will be wandering over and saying, cool, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where did you get that from? But they're not going to say, I need to get a red car limited.
Redcott Leisure.
Are you really wedded to that brand?
No. The only thing I know about marketing is you want something that is not, sort of a more unique word, so it's easier to, you know, there's no point in
You need
trying
it. It does what it says on the tin type name.
Yeah.
What about camp car?
I know why you're in marketing.
But you've got a lot more competition when you do that. So obviously
A camp car? I mean, doesn't that mean like, you know, gentlemen that like being with other gentlemen? I mean, which is not bad, whatever, but that's a very unusual way to brand your car because you do exclude others who are not gentlemen who are into gentlemen. Oh, does it mean something else? No, I mean, that's what it means, I think, doesn't it? Getting confused. No, that's... I'm going to do something one shouldn't normally do, but it's my video, so I do what I want to do. I mean, I don't want to get this wrong here, you know, but I mean, yeah, I mean, let me see. Camp, Urban Dictionary. That's camp, Urban Dictionary. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I got it right. I'm sorry for that, but you know, I don't want to be. Now, either Stephen is very funny or he got that wrong, but that brings me to something interesting: is when you use abbreviations, brand names, sign language, whatever it is, be 100% aware of what it means and what it doesn't mean. Because imagine you call it that way with the best intentions, and then you go to a market, let's say like the UK, and half the audience is going like, for real? And the other ones are going like, okay. And others say, no, I don't want, no, that's bad. Do your homework. Same thing with abbreviations. There's a car called the Toyota MR2, small sports car, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, two-seater. What could go wrong, right? Well, in France, MR2 is MR2, which means, well, shit. And you don't want a Toyota shit. So in that sense, do your homework on it.
I think he was joking. There is no way in this world anybody is ever going to name that camp car.
Okay, good. I should have listened.
Stephen Bartlett's camp car seems to have stalled on the starting grid.
Yeah.
Yet, given his lack of a clear brand identity, is Peter Jones still prepared to greenlight Jason's onward journey?
What a great business you've created in a very short space of time. And what I believe this business is that I think you are a micro camper van dealer.
Right.
As opposed to looking at this as in a camper box.
Yeah.
And creating a brand like Camper Box and selling that to multiple dealerships all over the world. It's a bit like IKEA in a box for camper van people. That, for me, would have been actually more interesting as a business. But what you've done is you've created a great business for yourself, but you are ultimately a camper van dealer. I don't want to be involved in a one-man dealership selling camper van as a complete solution. I don't think that will give you the future success that an investor would look for. And for that reason, I'm sorry, but I'm out.
I didn't see that coming. But sometimes you can have an amazing business, an amazing pitch, an amazing value proposition, and then an amazing investor just simply says, no, I don't see the fit. It's not what I'm looking for. And this is something you shouldn't consider negative. Yes, it hurts in the moment, but consider this rather like someone who's a collector. And you have someone who says, look, I collect Gibson guitars for the fun of it. And you have an amazing Fender guitar, which is brilliant, but I'm not interested in it simply because I collect Gibson guitars from that brand. That doesn't make your Fender guitar bad, or it doesn't make us enemies. It just means it's not what I am looking for. And if that happens to you, like it just happened to Jason, then don't dwell over it, because a Gibson collector will never buy a Fender guitar for his or her collection. Well, never say never, but you get the idea. Just move on.
The trade in second-hand vehicles has failed to get Peter Jones's motor running. Will Deborah Meaden be any more prepared to do deals involving wheels?
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
You've come up with a great idea and you've done it. You're making money, you're making good money. It's the car bit that worries me. Because at the moment, half of your business is in the vehicles.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not a business I particularly want to get into.
No.
So I'm having a bit of an internal battle, to be perfectly honest. Oh, do you know, something I've learnt in life? If I can't go, yes, I shouldn't do it. I don't think I'm going to do it. But if you've learnt anything today, get yourself a brand. I'm really sorry, I won't be investing. I'm out.
Same thing here. If it feels bad, don't do it. If it feels bad, don't do it. There is like this gut feeling you just have to stick with. And if it feels wrong, don't force it. By the way, I still haven't figured out how to stop these ads, because I do have a pro subscription, but with this program I use for making these videos, it just doesn't work. So when you sometimes see like small edits in the video, it's not me doing some wizardy editing stuff. It's just me cutting out these appallingly, horrendously terrible YouTube ads. Yes. Anyhow, back to this. But again, if it feels wrong, it's probably wrong. Go with your gut feeling. Remember how we talked emotion a couple of minutes ago? Emotion first, then rational. If the emotion says, trust it.
You have a great business. However, when I make investments in the den, it's not just because it's a great business. It's because like I have a passion for the problem. Tuka doesn't get out of bed for 1%. I don't get out of bed if I'm not passionate about it. And in this case,
I have both, by the way.
Sorry?
I have to be passionate.
Okay, I thought it was just 1%.
I live by passion.
That's fascinating. So in this case, although I think you're great, I'm personally not passionate enough about this business and this industry to be the right investor for you. So for that reason, I'm out.
Passion.
Right, Jason, I was going to sit here and try and play it really cool, and I kind of, because I just feel fit to burst with excitement,
She's
honestly.
on fire.
Because I love the business, I love the industry, and I think you're absolutely brilliant. And as excited as I am about this business, I can tell you who's going to be even more excited. My dad is going to have kittens when I tell him about this. He'll think this is wonderful. And my dad is the one that I learned a lot of my business skills from. So what I'd like to propose is that I would offer you all of the money, 100,000, in return for 15% of the business. And that's because I plan to make the investment for my 10%. And then I plan to involve my dad in the business as well and give him 5% of the business. And he will be the hands-on mentor with you every day of the week if you need him. And I will take responsibility for helping you put a marketing strategy together and also in scaling the business, because I think we'll get the marketing right, it's going to scale a lot faster than what you're thinking.
Thank you.
What an offer. And remember what we said about the emotions? It's her thinking about her dad, the day spent with her dad, a tremendous connection she has with him, and saying, look, that product reminds me of the good days with my dad, and I'd love to get him in. And they're kind of making a family business out of this. And with that investment proposition, without hearing what Tuka has to say, this is like the best offer you can get, because someone who's not seeing numbers and returns on you, but on top seeing emotion, passion, just like we heard from Stephen, the part he's lacking, we have it here all the more. What a brilliant offer. Jason seems quite calm about that. I'm quite excited. I feel like emotion in there when I hear that. Tuka cannot make a better offer than that.
An offer for Jason from fellow fresh air fiend Sarah Davies, who in a highly unusual move has thrown her dad into the bargain.
Hope Dad likes that, by the way. Imagine Dad's like, what? No, I'm enjoying pension. No. She's like, Dad, you're back working full time. He's like, no, but I'm kidding. Probably she and Dad are really close, and Dad loves the idea, and what a beautiful offer.
Tuka Suleiman has been keeping mum, but it appears he's ready to show his hand.
Jason, I've heard a lot, and
Yeah.
in my view, you've done a great job at this stage, but I can see this really taken to another level. I'm involved in a property project, which does a very sort of modular system, but very upmarket. And one could pick up a lot of ideas in what they've done in very small spaces.
Yeah.
Just little things. You think, oh, I didn't think of that. I love all of this stuff, manufacturing, design, product. So, I'm going to make you an offer. I'll offer you all of the money, but I also want 15% of the business.
Offer seems a bit far-fetched.
Is there any way we can get nearer to the 10%? So I think that's a fair valuation.
So from my end, Jason, the idea was I would put the 100,000 in for 10%, and then I was going to give my dad the 5% to come on board as like a support mentoring.
Yeah.
What I would be prepared to do would be to drop my stake to 5%, which would make your overall 10% if you return my money in 18 months.
And I would match
Super
that.
fair.
Of course you would.
You made a
No-brainer.
decision?
I have, yeah. I'd like to accept the offer, Sarah, thank you.
Of course.
Excellent.
Lovely.
Can't wait to work together, Jason. This is possibly the most excited I've been doing an investment while I've sat in this chair.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear about that. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Very much.
Good luck, be in touch.
Well done, Sarah.
Jason has done it. He leaves the den with £100,000 and the backing of a dragon whose enthusiasm for his business appears to know no bounds.
I was
Sorry, this is the moment where the emotions come flowing and the adrenaline high goes bashing and the endorphins come flowing. This is always the greatest moment when you go off stage and like, boom, there you have it.
having that one. I didn't care what any of you said. I would have fought you tooth and nail.
Sarah had more passion. Not only have I got a dragon, I've also got a dragon's dad, which is amazing.
That could be a new show, right? Dragon's Dad. But anyhow, think about how often the word passion was said in the last, whatever it was, 35 minutes. And at the end of the day, this is what you are presenting. Your passion for a product, and you are trying to look for someone else who brings a similar passion to support it. That's what it's about. Passion. Yes, numbers are great. Yes, PowerPoint massacres are great, but passion is always the one killer feature. In that sense, I'm passionate about anything pitching related. If you're still watching here, hey, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it. And if you haven't done that either, hit the bell button, because this is a passion project. We could make a drinking game out of this video, by the way. Every time you hear passion, drinking water, by the way. In that sense, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Take care, stay safe, and see you next time. Bye bye.